Ever wonder where true guidance in tough times, really comes from? We often look outward, but maybe the key is more internal, how we seek direction.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, focusing on the prayer life of Elder Michael Johnson, pastor and master Hebraist of biblical law.
We're looking specifically at how his personal prayers sort of form the bedrock of his teachings.
Yeah, our exploration is based on transcripts from the House of the Lost Sheep of Israel YouTube channel and also a study guide that analyzes these prayers.
So it gives us this really unique kind of unfiltered view into his devotional practices, right? And the theological ideas behind his lessons.
Absolutely, it is a direct window.
Think of it like getting the blueprint behind his message. We're going to look at the purpose, the themes in his prayers,
Yeah.
ideas like Jehovah's authority, justice, the importance of the Sabbath.
And his focus on spiritual growth and community, too.
Right. The goal is really to give you valuable insights, practical knowledge without, just overloading you.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's unpack this, starting with his daily prayers.
Well, the initial daily prayer we looked at centers on Psalms chapter 9. And what's really striking is its clear intention. It's fundamentally a prayer of thanksgiving and praise.
Thanksgiving for what specifically?
It acknowledges Jehovah's marvelous works, his justice, his righteous judgments. It affirms his eternal sovereignty. And it also expresses this deep trust in Jehovah as a refuge, especially for the oppressed.
It's right there in the transcript, isn't it?
Mhm.
Psalms of praise for God, marvelous works, in recognition to God's justice and his righteous judgments, the affirmation of God's eternal sovereignty into trusting God as a refuge for the ones who are oppressed.
Wow.
Powerful stuff, yeah.
And it also calls to declare deeds among the nations and asks for Jehovah's remembrance. It really sets a foundation, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And this theme, this emphasis on gratitude and praise, it's not just in that one prayer. We see it consistently throughout all the excerpts.
Like what kind of things? Repeated acknowledgments of his creation, his wisdom, his power, mercy, everlasting love, his faithfulness. It suggests that for Elder Johnson, constantly recognizing Jehovah's attributes is, well, foundational.
It's like grounding himself before engaging with anything else. And then there's that strong theme you mentioned, Jehovah's sovereignty and justice. That seems to run deep.
It really permeates everything. It's not just about Jehovah being all-powerful, but that his power is, inherently righteous.
Okay, so how does that play out in the prayers?
They consistently affirm his supreme authority. He's the eternal sovereign, his throne established for judgment. And crucially, he's the righteous judge who stands against falsehood, defends the oppressed.
That's interesting. It makes you think how that belief might shape his view on, say, current events or community struggles.
Exactly. And it seems deeply connected to another recurring theme, seeking refuge in Jehovah.
Right, that comes up a lot.
It does. In times of trouble, Jehovah is always presented as the ultimate sanctuary, the stronghold, the safe place. There's this palpable reliance on him for protection.
Especially for those feeling burdened or unjustly treated. I remember seeing that quote from the last daily prayer.
Yes. You are my refuge, and you are my strong tower. You are my protector, and I find safety in your direction. That constant seeking of refuge, it really highlights a core belief in, well, human vulnerability and dependence on Jehovah.
You can almost feel the urgency in those pleas for mercy and deliverance, too. It's not just acknowledging power. It's like recognizing a profound need for grace.
Precisely. Repeated calls for mercy, for grace, for deliverance from all sorts of afflictions, general hardships, specific burdens. It connects right back to Jehovah's steadfast love and compassion.
And how does that personal seeking of solace maybe inform his care for his followers?
That's a great question. It likely fosters a deep empathy. But it's also not a passive faith, is it? There's this clear sense of responsibility in the prayers, too.
Responsibility? How so?
To go out and proclaim Jehovah's works. There's this expressed commitment to share his goodness, his love, his mighty deeds with everyone.
So prayer isn't just personal communion, it's also fueling a mission.
It seems that way. An active role in making his greatness known.
Okay, shifting gears slightly, the Sabbath. That seems really significant in these prayers.
Oh, definitely. And it's portrayed as much more than just a day off. It's a sacred Sabbath day.
Sacred how?
Set aside specifically for rest, yes, but also profound reflection, continued learning, and deep communion with Jehovah. It's understood as a tangible token of the covenant.
A reminder of his faithfulness.
Exactly. A recurring reminder. It's described as a time to pause from our labors, to reflect on your goodness, and to draw near to your truth.
Sounds very intentional, very deliberate.
It does. And within these prayers, Sabbath prayers and others, you find frequent requests for healing.
Healing in what sense? Physical.
All kinds, really. Physical, spiritual, emotional well-being. It's quite comprehensive. They're laying everything before Jehovah.
Asking for physical healing, spiritual understanding, emotional restoration. And I notice the specific name Jehovah Rapha comes up.
Yes, the Lord who heals. That highlights Jehovah's active role in bringing wholeness, restoration.
And this concern isn't just individual, right? There's a sense of community concern, too.
Very much so. You see these repeated references to the children of Israel, the seed of Jacob, and the Standard
A
Hebrews.
strong sense of collective identity.
Absolutely. And a desire to see this community strengthened, guided in faith. The prayers often include intercessions for their well-being, for them to walk in truth.
Which seems linked to an awareness of spiritual challenges they face.
Yes, an acute awareness.
Yeah.
Challenges like distractions and deceits, internal struggles like pride, self-deception, things we can all relate to.
But the language about spiritual rebellion is incredibly strong, likening it to the sin of witchcraft and stubbornness as wicked iniquity and idolatry. That's intense.
It is stark, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really underscores how seriously turning away from Jehovah's commands is viewed. But even while acknowledging these big challenges,
There's still reliance on Jehovah.
always reliance on his power to overcome them, not just human effort.
And you also get this sense of Elder Johnson's personal commitment in the prayers.
Oh, definitely. A clear expression of a personal vow to be a dedicated servant, available to guide even unto death, as one prayer mentions. It speaks to a profound calling.
And underpinning all this, there seems to be an emphasis on engaging with Jehovah's word.
Yes, meditating deeply on his works and his word. That emerges as a crucial practice for growth and understanding, not just hearing, but really reflecting.
Actively thinking about it.
Exactly. And one excerpt from Prayers and Petitions for Israel reflects on creation, Genesis chapter 1 specifically.
How does creation fit into the prayers?
It's used as a basis for gratitude, specifically thanking Jehovah for light, which is interpreted as representing truth and essential spiritual nourishment.
Wow, connecting gratitude right back to the very beginning. That's powerful.
It is. And you also find very specific requests. There's a prayer for a Sister Brown asking for gifts of meditation, learning, formulating questions, uncovering hidden truth.
That shows real attention to individual needs within the community.
It does. And there's that recurring concern for those described as poor in spirit and understanding, a desire to nurture growth at every level.
And what about the atmosphere they hope to create in their gatherings?
The prayers express this longing for deep unity, peace, and an effortless flow of grace. There's a specific plea for Jehovah to remove scales from eyes and veils of doubt.
Linking back to seeking spiritual clarity.
Precisely. And woven through all these themes, gratitude, sovereignty, refuge, community, healing, is that fundamental, unwavering theme of seeking Jehovah's guidance.
In everything.
In everything. A constant seeking of direction, a profound trust in his leadership across all aspects of life. That deep reliance seems absolutely central.
It's a relationship built on dependence, humility, and belief in his wisdom and care.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, a few key things really stand out, don't they? First, it's undeniable that Elder Johnson's prayer life isn't just routine. It's truly foundational to his teachings.
Yeah, absolutely foundational.
We've seen these consistent themes. Profound praise, that deep belief in Jehovah's sovereignty and justice, the constant seeking of refuge,
And that genuine active concern for the community, it's all interwoven.
and the Sabbath holding that unique place for renewal and connection.
Right. And it's clear this whole practice is rooted in this yearning, both personal and communal, for spiritual growth and a commitment to sharing truth with others.
So here's something for you, the listener, to maybe think about. How might incorporating some of these principles, that consistent praise, that reliance on a higher power for justice and refuge, setting aside time for reflection, that concern for community, how might that influence your own way of facing challenges or seeking deeper understanding?
It really makes you consider the connection between, our inner spiritual lives and how we learn and interact with the world.
That powerful link between prayer or intentional devotion and teaching or sharing knowledge.
It raises that question about the role devotion plays in shaping our perspectives and actions.
Definitely food for thought. And a final word for your own journey, may you also find profound guidance and enduring truth as you seek deeper connection and understanding in your own life.